YouTube video. We'll see how it goes. I tried to film this a couple of times, but I keep getting interrupted. So hopefully this is the last time I get interrupted. Today, I'm a mom. My name's Leah. I wanted to do something parenting related for YouTube. I really do love beauty, but I think that I would excel better in parenting. Not saying that I'm like the best parent in the world and like no one can top me, because I'm not like that. um, I think I'm gonna do the controversial parenting tag. It seems pretty interesting to me. Sorry, I'm on my phone. Um, so I figured I'd give it a shot. So if I keep looking down, I apologize. Um, but I like watching these kinds of videos, and I like to hear what other people have to say and what their opinions are. Very open, and I'm very, I don't know, I have a liberal sense. I agree with certain parts of everything, but not everything, if that makes sense. I don't know. So I feel like I'm gonna say yes to both of it, like, or yes to a lot of this stuff. Um, but we'll just see. Okay. The first question is, am I pro-life or am I pro-choice? I am pro-life. I thought when I got pregnant that it was not the worst thing in the world, but it was just a bad timing. Um, so I did briefly think, what would life be like if maybe I wasn't pregnant, but I never really thought, let's get an abortion type thing. I don't know. I didn't want my life to end, and I didn't realize that it would just begin becoming a mom. But I do know a couple people who have had abortions, and I don't judge them for it. I don't know. I'm not one of those types of people to judge. I mean, to a sense, let's be honest. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know where they felt, why they felt the way they did. I just know for me personally, I wouldn't do it. Um, Baby wearing, I baby wore my daughter Zoe from about 2 weeks till about 4 months. After that, she started to get too heavy, and my back would just kill me. I didn't do it every day, every second of the day, but it was nice to have something for like when we went on walks. It was just easier to carry her around places, not have to take out the car seat, take out the stroller. It was just a lot easier to put her in and then walk around. I loved putting her forward facing out because I just had like a regular like strap on one. I didn't have like a Moby wrap or an Ergo or anything like that. But she really liked it, and I mean, it helped me be able to cook and clean. And there was a time when she was very clingy and just wanted me to hold her, and there were things I had to do, and it was nice to be able to do that with her on me and her be fine and me be fine. So I have no issues with baby wearing. Circumcision. I know that if I were to have a boy, I was contemplating circumcision. I do know the risks. I do know about like the nerve endings being severed, and I do know about the actual procedure itself. But my husband was very, very, very adamant on if we were to have a boy that we'd be getting a C-section. He just, for religious reasons, he just was very set in his ways, and there was no really changing his mind about that. So I don't personally, I mean, like, if it was completely up to me, I would choose no and let him choose later on in life. But because it's like me and my husband together, I would have to, we'd have to come to a mutual agreement. And our mutual agreement was yes, we would get a circumcision. Adoption. I have no issues with adoption. I don't know why anybody would have issues with adoption. If you can't have kids genetically yourself for reasons that you can't control, then yes, I mean, you're helping the system out, you're helping kids out. I mean, I see absolutely nothing wrong. Now, I do know that there are kids who are, like, have issues. I do know that, like, all of that stuff happens, and I get that too. Fostering kids is not easy, especially when they're older, but adopting a young child from anywhere, I think, is a blessing. I mean, for someone who couldn't afford to be a parent or didn't want to be a parent or just gave up, and for you to take that child is a blessing. And I couldn't be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe thankful for you guys. I mean, if I couldn't have kids, I would have adopted. I don't necessarily think that I have to have it be blood to blood. I mean, it's nice to have a child that looks like me that I was able to be actually pregnant with. But if for any reason that were to ever change and I wanted another kid, then yes, I would adopt. Baby piercings. I did want to get Zoe's ears pierced at like after her first round of shots, but I decided not to because she was pulling on her ears a lot from teething. I mean, I know that's really early to start teething, but like she was like her gums were hurting her. So I decided to not do it, and I figured I'd wait until she was older, maybe at like 5, when she could like decide for herself. When she was still young enough to decide, but when she wasn't like so old that it was just, like she was gonna be like out of the loop. Because let's face it, as girls, if we didn't have our ears pierced, we felt out of the loop. So I don't want her to feel that way. I'm not gonna tell her no if she wants to get her ears pierced. If she asks me, I'll let her go get it done. I just felt like it was early to do it like under a year, in my opinion. Breastfeeding or bottle feeding, so I'm guessing it's breast or formula. I tried, I tried for like 3 weeks to breastfeed, and she was not latching. She was not, nothing. There was nothing I could do. I went into WIC, and we got lactation consultants in here. We got nurses coming in. We had professionals coming in, and they had to break open a bottle of formula because Zoe just would not latch. There was nothing I could do. She just wanted it faster than my boob could release it. So I wish to God I could have breastfed. I tried so hard and I just couldn't. So I would prefer to breastfeed, but I had no choice and had to formula feed. I have no issues with formula. Breastfeeding is just more nutritious. They will adapt to food easier. The antibodies in it. I mean, the benefits for the mom alone is great. Not to mention the baby. I mean, you can use breast milk on anything, and it could heal. It heals it. I mean, you can save breast milk for when they're older, and give it to them, and it can be like if you're not one of those medicine moms. I mean, it does everything. So that's just. I wish I could have. I tried, but there was a poster that was like, a Harvard graduate, 2 Harvard graduates, and there was one that was breastfed and there was one that was bottle fed. So, in my opinion, it doesn't really necessarily change anything. Zoe's still doing fine. I was formula fed. I mean, I just, I just, when you can't control the circumstances, then you can't control them. Spanking, I don't personally like spanking. That's just my opinion. I'm just a sissy when it comes to those kind of things. I don't have that. I'd rather just like firmly discipline them than to spank them. I don't know. I don't want to put that fear into them. I don't want to do that. I I don't remember being spanked as a kid, and I don't want my daughter to be spanked. That's just my opinion. Um, co-sleeping, I please, please, mothers. I know that there's at least one of you, but please tell me you didn't co-sleep at least once. Zoe, she would not sleep without me. I tried putting her in a rock and play and putting my hand at the end of the bed. Nope, she would not sleep unless she was right next to me. And we did that for 3 months. And the only reason why we transitioned her into a crib is because my husband kept snoring. And after that, it was. I mean, like she transitioned into her crib fantastically. She didn't die, but I mean, like I do know that there are serious cases where that can happen. But no, I rave about co-sleeping. She slept great. I slept great. I actually slept better with her co-sleeping than without her co-sleeping. I'm a very light sleeper. I don't move when I sleep. I didn't have any issues with that. Sometimes I still bring her in. She's almost 6 months now, and I think I've brought her in maybe like twice since like transitioning her into her crib. But I still do when she's sick, when she doesn't feel good, when she's clingy. I can't say enough about it. I love it. I'm so for it. I can't even. I can't even explain to you how format I am. Home versus public versus private versus charter school. Um, my husband was homeschooled and I was public. I was in public schools. Um, I don't think I'd do like a private or charter school. I have no issues with the public schools in our area. I have one in mind. I mean, I would rather her get exposed to a good community with good people and good teachers and have those friends, those lifelong friends. It's just my opinion. So I would go with the public school. Vaccinations. My mom was really iffy with me with vaccinations when I was growing up. She was so like anti-vaccination. So I do know the risks of vaccinations, but I still let Zoe get her vaccinations. I just I understand that she needs to have that in her. I understand that there are certain things that we need to make sure our children don't get. And I know that there are links to like autism and everything like that with certain vaccinations, but I would rather her just be protected than to have to worry about her getting something that could potentially kill her. Medicating babies, I have used Tylenol on her. She got RSV really young, so she gets sick. Not often, but more often than not. And I don't know. And with teething, I just like when she has like the really like when she's got a high temperature, I bring it down with medicine, but I don't like go crazy. I usually give her half the dose it asks for, just enough to kind of take the edge off. I've tried teething tablets, it doesn't really work on her. I've tried like I give her just slight bit of Orajel if it's like awful. But most of the time, the most I've ever given her is just Tylenol. Cloth versus disposable. I was interested in doing cloth. It was just a lot to put down all at once because let's face it, mama isn't rich. But I mean, like, I have no issues with disposable diapers. Pampers are by far my favorite, but they are the most expensive, so I just do Love's or Parents' Choice. I have no issue with either of those. So, I mean, like, Love's feels pretty dang close to Pampers, and they are a huge difference in price, and it like they feel just like cloth. I know environmentally it's better, but I just couldn't put the money down onto cloth, so I'm fine with disposable. And then the last is the cry it out method. We tried to do the cry it out method a couple days before actually transitioning Zoe into her crib, and it didn't work very well. Now I have done like it where if she's, because you can tell a difference in your kids. You can tell the difference if it is your baby crying or if it's your baby just fussing. She's just fussing and she's just throwing a tiny little fit, then I'll put her in there. I'll put a pacifier in. Yes, I am pro pacifier. That thing has saved my life. And I'll just kind of let her like whimper it out. And then I usually put something that I wore that day in her crib with her so that she's not like, so she can kind of sense me, but I'm not there. And then we'll slowly transition that out. But there are times when she like screams and screams and screams and screams and screams, and we have to take hours to put her down. And then there are other times when she goes down without a fight. So I have done the cried out method. I don't prefer the cried out method, but I can usually tell if she's like really truly upset or if she's just fussing. And if she's just fussing, I don't really think it's the cried out method. I just think it's her trying to fight it. You know what I mean? So those are my opinions. So I hope that I didn't ramble too much, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to this amateur video. And I will see you guys later. Bye.